Have you ever wondered what people think and feel about South Africa, both here and abroad? Well, this is a question that Brand South Africa has tried to answer in their State of the Nation report. I spoke to their Acting General Manager for Research, Shamiso Hlatshwayo, and this is for the record. With us today is Shamiso Hlatshwayo, who's the Acting General Manager of Research at Brand South Africa. And some very interesting research that they've done. Let's find out a little bit more. Good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Peter.
All right, State of the Nation report.
Yes.
What is the state of South Africa's brand?
The state of South Africa's brand, it finds itself at a very precarious point. And you can imagine the world is changing and South Africa is changing. Domestically, the brand is definitely changing. It's in a current state of evolution, or as we would like to term it, because then the brand that we knew it to be in '94 has changed.
So we're not the Rainbow Nation anymore.
We are the evolving nation.
Okay.
We are the evolving nation. And actually, interestingly enough, Brand South Africa has started, is on the verge of starting a new campaign, which, if you read the report, emanates from what we understand to be the central idea. And the central idea in '94 would have been what we understand as the Rainbow Nation. Now we're on a quest to understand what is South Africa's central idea? What is the Rainbow Nation concept as we understand it, but one that applies to 2023 and one that speaks to the nation that we've evolved into, the nation that we are becoming essentially.
All right. So now my understanding of brands is once you look at a logo or a name, you feel certain things.
Correct.
And so I wonder what it is that people feel both externally and internally when South Africa is mentioned?
That's a great question, Peter, and thank you for that. Internationally, people love South Africa. When they think of South Africa, they automatically think of Nelson Mandela, which speaks to obviously a history of triumph, a country that has embraced diversity in the face of adversity, a country that is known to be resilient even in the face of challenges, a country that is known to have vibrant arts and culture, warm and humble people who are open to interact with people from all walks of life, and beautiful landscapes that that leave lasting memories and really make people want to come back for more. And that's externally. Internally, we currently face a very challenging time. And as I said, it's unsurprising because we are evolving as a nation. And, given the challenges that we face, both economically and politically, there's a lot of uncertainty and there's obviously a lot of discontent. But we as Brand South Africa see that as just a marker of who we are, South Africans, that yes, we often refer to ourselves as resilient. And I know that resilient word is contested in the sense that it's often seen that, okay, so you call us resilient because it means that we are ready to lie down and take as much as we can. However, we as Brand South Africa see that resilient characteristic as one of triumph, as one of looking at facing challenges head on and seeing opportunities in the midst of challenges. And we believe that is a very definitive characteristic of South Africans. And also it speaks to, our ability to press on, and it doesn't mean that we are open, to being misled or we are okay with general mismanagement. It has nothing to do with that. It just means that we are the masters of our own destiny.
All right. So I'm getting a sense that there's what we call external branding and internal branding. Now, as in the marketing lingo, you have brand managers who have to manage those brands.
Yes.
So my question to you then is, what are we branding abroad? Can we change those perceptions? Are we doing things to create those emotions externally? Tell me a little bit about the external story, and then we'll explore domestic.
Well, the external story, if you you work in the media, Peter, so you saw that Brand South Africa was quite instrumental in branding Team South Africa at the World Economic Forum in Davos. That was quite successful in the sense that we worked to our strengths, and cultural diplomacy, which is also referred to as soft power, is one of our greatest strengths. Is that when the world thinks of South Africa, and it's just some of those key indicators or that I mentioned, they think of a vibrant country, a country that is diverse, a country that has triumphed over adversity, a country that is full of potential, with great infrastructure and great investment opportunities. So all of that summed up literally means that we're a work in progress, we're a country with great promise, we're a country with great people who are willing to put in the work to make South Africa the country that we all know it to be, which is a great country.
All right. What about domestically? Because people feel and experience whatever it is every single day. And I suppose a successful branding exercise will leave people more patriotic and rallying behind the flag, as it were.
Yes.
Is that something that you do as well? And
Yes.
Are we winning?
Yes. One of our flagship campaigns as well is called Play Your Part, where we speak to, during our conversation earlier, I think maybe let me take it back a bit, that we also, from a research perspective, we conduct and what we call a domestic perception survey. So that's an annual research project that we embark on, and we measure 3 primary indicators, which are social cohesion, active citizenship, and national pride. And those, you can imagine those, we understand that to be the 3 main building blocks of understanding where a society is. What is the identity? What is the pulse of a society? So using that, we then get a sense of where South Africans are. And with those indicators, then we were able then as well to curate this Play Your Part campaign, which really speaks to active citizenship, national pride, social cohesion. Who are you as a South African? What are you doing for your fellow South Africans? Are you, we want to dispel this notion that just because there's certain government failures, it doesn't mean that everything needs to fail. That it's literally restoring a citizen agency to say that what is the level of participation? How far are you willing to go to ensure that you participate in making South Africa the country that you know it to be? And that is obviously being an active citizen, being socially cohesive, working together within your own societies, to improve the lives or improving the things that you can improve, and national pride, and believing in the ideal that, the most important thing is remembering who and what South Africa is. What are the fundamental building blocks of what democratic South Africa was built on?
There's so much we can talk about. Perhaps we can end with this. What's the power of this report, and who should be using it?
Peter, I believe that we could have spoken more at length, because there's a lot more to unpack, obviously related to the report. But I would say that every single citizen, but more importantly, stakeholders within government, within academia, within the media, as well as within within the private sector, because coming off of the South African Investment Conference, where those are just some of the flagship programs that we also support, is that what was really stand out was that business and government collaboration is the foundation of what is going to fix the challenges that South Africa currently faces. And the same can be said about South Africa in general. Collaboration, cooperation, active citizenship, national pride, social cohesion. All of those things into one. If we're all intentional about playing our part and creating and contributing, actively contributing to creating a better South Africa for all, one that is inclusive, one that is fully transformed, but one that is also responsible, and honest. I truly believe that we can make South Africa the country that we know it to be, which is a great country.
Shamiso, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I think we need to have more conversations about this.
Yes.
And let's just see what we can do in terms of generating that national pride that we see so often when our teams are winning.
Yes.
And when we're doing great things far and wide.
It's actually quite interesting that you say that, because we've been monitoring that indicator since 2017. And it fluctuates.
Yes.
According to how South Africa does, in terms of on different, within the different sporting codes. But also, it's also such an important, source of social cohesion as well as active citizenship. Once we see a spike in national pride, it translates automatically to social cohesion and active citizenship. You can imagine that, one of the most, I suppose, unique features, and this is a global story, and this is why South Africa will always will always have favor and will always be top of mind in the minds of international audiences, is because our story is so amazing. You can imagine that, winning the Rugby World Cup at the time in '94, how that brought a country together, that created a nation. It created, that really was what solidified us as a nation. We were a country before, but after that we became a nation. So those are the most interesting, dynamics and features that make South Africa great. And it's such an exciting story to tell. And, I really hope that we have more time to unpack this, because there's obviously a lot of layers to the report, but more so, there are a lot of layers to who and what South Africa is.